Welcome to the Daily Stoic Reflections, your go-to space for wisdom that will transform how you approach life's challenges. In today's video, we're diving into timeless Stoic principles that hold the key to unlocking your true potential and inner peace. If you've ever found yourself frustrated by things beyond your control, struggling with self-doubt, or caught in the chaos of life, you're in the right place. Stoicism teaches us that by mastering our response to life's events, we hold the power to live with calm, purpose, and resilience. Today, we'll explore how controlling what you can, embracing a firm purpose, and guarding your mind can set you free from unnecessary distress. Stay with us through the entire video. It's packed with powerful insights you won't want to miss. 1. Control what you can. In life, there are things we can control and things we cannot. The sooner we accept this, the sooner we unlock the true power of serenity. Imagine waking up every day and choosing to focus only on what you can change: the way you respond to the world around you, the thoughts you allow to shape your mind, and the actions you take in alignment with your values. This is where peace begins. Not in the chaotic world outside, but in the calm decisions you make within yourself. Take a moment and think about the times you've struggled with something beyond your control, whether it was someone else's behavior, an unexpected setback, or a situation that seemed utterly unfair. When we place our energy on trying to control the uncontrollable, we waste precious moments of our lives in frustration and anxiety. The more we try to change what's outside of us, the more we become slaves to those things. The real liberation comes when we understand that we have the power to control how we think and act, no matter the storm surrounding us. Let's consider a simple but powerful example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. You can't change the traffic, the time, or even the people driving around you. But what you can control is your reaction. You can either let it fuel your anger and stress, or you can breathe deeply, accept the reality of the situation, and focus on what you can do next, perhaps using this time to prepare mentally for your meeting or simply to relax. The choice is yours. And this choice is where your serenity lies. When we let go of the need to control everything, we free ourselves. We start focusing on what we can do, on how we can improve, grow, and act with purpose. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us that true tranquility arises when we understand this fundamental truth. Life will continue to throw challenges at us, but it is our response that defines our journey. So, next time you face a challenge, remember this: it's not the external world that dictates your happiness, it's the way you choose to approach it. Let go of the things you cannot control, and take charge of your inner world. That's where true peace is found. 2. Firm purpose. In the face of adversity, our true character is revealed. It's easy to stand tall when the road is smooth, when everything aligns perfectly with our plans. But real strength is tested in the storm. It's when life pushes us to the edge, when challenges seem insurmountable, that we uncover the depths of our resilience. And the key to navigating these storms: a firm purpose. Think about a ship on the open sea. In calm waters, the journey feels effortless. But when the waves rise and the winds howl, the ship's course is determined by the captain's clear purpose, its destination, its mission. Without that firm direction, the ship would drift aimlessly, lost in the turbulence. And so it is with us. When life throws challenges our way, it is the clarity of our purpose that serves as our anchor. It gives us direction, a reason to keep going when everything around us seems to fall apart. I want you to reflect on those times in your life when you faced struggles. What carried you through? Was it not a deep sense of purpose, a belief in something greater than yourself that kept you moving forward? Perhaps it was the desire to provide for your family, to achieve a goal that seemed impossible, or simply to stand tall in the face of adversity. Whatever it was, that purpose became the fuel that ignited your perseverance. It was what made you resilient. But remember, a firm purpose is not something that magically appears in times of crisis. It must be cultivated long before the storm hits. It's about aligning your daily actions with your long-term vision, living with intention and clarity every single day. The clearer your purpose, the stronger your resilience. And the stronger your resilience, the more unwavering your determination becomes, no matter what life throws at you. Think about great leaders throughout history: Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., or even ordinary people who overcame extraordinary challenges. They all shared one thing in common: a firm purpose. They knew exactly why they were fighting. They understood that the obstacles in their path were not roadblocks, but opportunities to prove their commitment to their purpose. And they pushed forward, relentlessly, guided by that inner compass. So, I ask you, what is your purpose? What is the guiding force in your life that will carry you through the storms? When challenges arise, don't let them shake you. Stand firm in your purpose, and let it guide you to greatness. Because when you know exactly why you're here, no storm can ever truly drown you. 3. Guard your mind. Just as you would never hand over your body to a stranger, allowing them to manipulate, hurt, or control you, why then would you surrender your mind to the opinions of others? Your mind is your most precious asset, the core of your identity, your thoughts, and your peace. Yet, too often, we allow external influences, whether from others' criticisms, societal pressures, or fleeting judgments, to shape how we feel, think, and behave. The true power lies in taking back control. Guard your mind as fiercely as you guard your body. Think about it. Every day, we are bombarded by outside voices, the opinions of colleagues, family members, strangers on social media, or even the world's expectations of who we should be. And while it's natural to listen and even reflect on feedback, we must never allow those external voices to dictate our emotions or sense of self-worth. When we allow others to control how we feel, we surrender our personal power. We let someone else's beliefs, assumptions, or even fleeting remarks rob us of our peace. Let me share an example. Imagine a person who is deeply affected by a single negative comment. Perhaps someone said they weren't good enough, that their efforts would never amount to anything. This one comment starts to fester, turning into self-doubt, anxiety, and ultimately a loss of self-confidence. But here's the reality: that comment, though it may have stung, has no inherent power unless we allow it to. We hold the power to choose how to respond to external feedback, and this response shapes our inner peace. Now, imagine a different scenario: someone with a strong sense of self-worth, anchored in their values, who hears a similar comment. Instead of letting it derail their emotions, they pause and reflect. Is this comment true? Does it align with who I am or the goals I'm working toward? If the answer is no, they discard it without a second thought. If the answer is yes, they use it constructively to improve. This is mind control. This is mastery over your emotional world. Guarding your mind means taking responsibility for the thoughts you allow to occupy your space. It's about understanding that you are not a passive recipient of external opinions. You are the creator of your inner narrative. It means actively filtering out negativity, letting go of harmful judgments, and protecting your emotional energy. If you consistently guard your mind from harmful influences, your peace will remain unshaken, regardless of what's happening around you. So, ask yourself today, who or what has been controlling your emotions? And how can you take back that power? Because when you learn to guard your mind, you unlock a profound sense of inner peace, a peace that cannot be disrupted by the opinions of others, but instead, is anchored in the certainty of your own self-awareness and strength. 4. Handling criticism. Criticism, it's something we all face at some point in our lives. Whether it comes from a colleague, a friend, or even a stranger, it has the power to wound us, to make us question ourselves, and to shake our confidence. But here's the truth: others' words don't define us, our reaction to them does. The way we choose to respond to criticism is what truly shapes our experience. Imagine walking into a room full of people. Someone in the corner makes a negative comment about your work, your appearance, or even your character. In that moment, you have two choices: You can let their words sink deep into your heart, shaping your self-worth, or you can choose to rise above it. The key is in your reaction. You control the impact their words have on you. Let me tell you a story about a famous writer who faced constant rejection early in his career. He submitted his work to publisher after publisher, only to be met with harsh criticism and rejection letters. But instead of allowing those remarks to define him, he chose to view them as stepping stones. He understood that criticism is often a reflection of the person giving it, not of the person receiving it. So, he took each criticism in stride, learning what he could from it, but never letting it shake his belief in his purpose or his work. That writer was none other than J.K. Rowling. Today, her books are some of the best-selling of all time, and her story is a testament to the power of resilience and self-belief in the face of criticism. Handling criticism is not about ignoring the feedback. It's about understanding that not all criticism is created equal. Some of it may be constructive, meant to help us grow. Some of it may be delivered with ill intentions, seeking to diminish us. But in either case, we must remain calm and self-aware. It's crucial to ask yourself, is this criticism valid? Does it align with my values or goals? If it does, use it as fuel for improvement. If it doesn't, simply let it go. Patience plays a crucial role here. The impulse to react immediately to criticism is natural. We want to defend ourselves, to justify our actions. But true strength lies in patience. Take a moment to breathe, to center yourself, and to consider whether reacting serves your greater good. Often, a thoughtful response, or even silence, can speak louder than an emotional reaction ever could. Self-awareness is the foundation of all of this. When you know yourself deeply, when you are grounded in your values and your purpose, outside opinions will hold much less power over you. You will be able to sift through criticism, discarding what is unhelpful and using what is constructive to fuel your growth. So, next time you face criticism, remember, it's not the words that matter, but how you choose to respond. Your reaction defines your peace. Be patient, be self-aware, and remain undisturbed by the negativity of others. Let your inner strength be the shield that protects you from the storm of harsh words. 5. Fear and dishonor. Fear and shame, these powerful emotions can grip us, holding us back from living fully, from stepping into our true potential. Yet, if we examine them closely, we find that they are not rooted in reality but in our perceptions of ourselves and the world around us. Fear and shame are constructs of the mind, shaped by external influences, expectations, and the fear of judgment. And here's the liberating truth: by valuing our inner wisdom over the approval of others, we can break free from these chains. Let's take a moment to think about fear. How often do we fear the unknown, the opinions of others, or the possibility of failure? We worry about what people will think of us, whether we'll be judged, rejected, or misunderstood. But in truth, much of this fear is not grounded in actual events. It is a projection of our own anxieties, a narrative we create in our minds about what might happen. In reality, most of what we fear never comes to pass, and the fears we hold often do not have the power we attribute to them. Consider someone who is terrified of public speaking. The mere thought of standing before an audience fills them with dread. But what they fear most is not the act of speaking itself, it's the judgment of others. They fear that they'll be criticized, that they'll make a mistake and be seen as inadequate. But when we break it down, this fear is based on perception, not reality. In truth, most people in the audience are not focusing on the speaker's mistakes, and many are empathetic toward their nervousness. The reality is often far less intimidating than the stories we tell ourselves. Similarly, shame, this feeling of dishonor, stems from our attachment to external approval. We live in a world that constantly tells us how we should look, what we should achieve, and how we should behave. When we fall short of these external standards, we feel ashamed. But once again, shame is not a reflection of our true worth, it is a reflection of the standards set by others. The key to freedom lies in valuing our own inner wisdom and authentic self rather than seeking validation from outside sources. Think about the great leaders and thinkers in history. Many of them faced intense criticism, fear, and shame for going against the grain. They were not afraid to follow their inner wisdom, even when the world disapproved. They valued their own truth over societal expectations. It was their courage to live according to their own values that ultimately led to their impact and legacy. We must ask ourselves, what are we afraid of? Are we more concerned with others' opinions than with our own integrity? What standards are we living by, and are they truly our own, or have we allowed others to impose them upon us? When we release our need for external validation, when we trust our own wisdom and stay true to ourselves, fear and shame lose their power. They cannot control us because we are anchored in something far more profound, our own sense of purpose and self-worth. By valuing our inner truth, we free ourselves from the anxiety that arises from seeking approval. So, the next time fear or shame tries to hold you back, remember, they are not rooted in reality, they are reflections of your own perceptions. Let go of the need for external approval, and place your trust in your own wisdom. In doing so, you will find liberation. You will stand tall, free from the chains of fear and shame, and live with true courage and authenticity. 6. Anticipate obstacles. In life, obstacles are not just inevitable, they are a certainty. No matter how carefully we plan, no matter how prepared we think we are, challenges will arise. And yet, far too often, we approach them with surprise, frustration, or even resistance. But imagine what would happen if we embraced them not as roadblocks, but as integral parts of our journey. What if, instead of fearing obstacles, we anticipated them? What if we mentally prepared for difficulty, knowing it would come and using it to strengthen our resilience? Think about a mountain climber who sets out to scale a challenging peak. The climber doesn't reach the base of the mountain and hope that the rocks and obstacles will simply vanish. No, they prepare. They anticipate the difficulty of the climb, the exhaustion they'll face, the unpredictable weather, and the risks. They don't view these challenges as insurmountable, they see them as part of the climb. And because they've mentally prepared, they are more equipped to handle the hardships that come their way. In fact, it is the very anticipation of these obstacles that fortifies them. The same principle applies to us in life. By acknowledging that challenges are an unavoidable part of existence, we no longer waste our energy resisting them. Instead, we learn to approach difficulties with calmness and clarity. When we mentally prepare for obstacles, we don't panic when they arise. We don't crumble under the weight of adversity. We accept it as part of the process and move forward with purpose. For example, think about a major life transition, whether it's a career change, a move to a new city, or the end of a relationship. If we expect the process to be smooth and without hurdles, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. But if we anticipate that the road ahead will have bumps, we can navigate it with resilience. We may encounter doubts, fears, and setbacks along the way, but because we've mentally prepared ourselves for them, they won't throw us off course. Instead, we will meet each challenge with the confidence that we can handle it. Anticipating obstacles isn't about dwelling on what could go wrong. It's about mentally preparing ourselves to face life's difficulties with poise and resilience. It's about accepting that, as we walk this path, we will face challenges, but those challenges are not there to break us. They are there to strengthen us. Every obstacle is an opportunity to build our character, to grow, and to learn. So, the next time you embark on a new journey or face a daunting task, remember this: don't hope that challenges won't come. Expect them. Know that obstacles will arise, but trust that they are not roadblocks, but opportunities in disguise. By anticipating them, you strengthen your resilience and ensure that you are equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. In embracing difficulty, you unlock a deeper strength within yourself, one that enables you to navigate even the most turbulent waters with calmness and confidence. 7. No one can truly hurt you. Pain, both emotional and physical, is something we all experience. But here's a powerful truth: pain doesn't come from the events themselves, it comes from how we interpret them. Life will throw curveballs at us. People will disappoint us, misunderstand us, and sometimes, they will hurt us. But the real power in those moments lies not in what others do, but in how we choose to respond. It is in our response that we regain control over our suffering and find the freedom to shape our experience. Consider this: a person makes a harsh comment about you, perhaps a criticism or a judgment that feels like a direct blow to your self-worth. In that moment, you have two choices: you can internalize their words, allowing them to sting and define your sense of value, or you can choose to reframe the situation. The comment itself is just a set of words, a fleeting moment. But your interpretation of those words, your decision to let them affect you, is where the real pain lies. If you allow their opinion to become your reality, then the hurt festers. But if you choose to let it go, to see the comment for what it truly is, a fleeting reflection of someone else's perspective, then the pain dissolves. This doesn't mean that we should ignore or suppress our emotions. Of course, we feel pain, and it's natural to experience hurt when we're wronged. But what Stoicism teaches us is that we have the power to control our reaction to that pain. We can choose whether to be defined by it, whether to let it dictate our emotions, or whether to release it and move forward with clarity. By choosing how we interpret and respond to the events that cause us pain, we gain power over suffering. Let me share a story about Viktor Frankl, a man who truly embodied this principle. As a Holocaust survivor, Frankl faced unimaginable suffering. He was imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, stripped of his dignity, and subjected to atrocities that most of us cannot even fathom. Yet, despite everything he endured, Frankl discovered that even in the worst of circumstances, he still had the power to choose his response. He realized that while he couldn't control the brutalities happening around him, he could control how he responded to them. In his seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl explains that even in the most horrifying situations, we have the ultimate freedom to choose how we view and interpret our suffering. And it was this inner freedom, this ability to choose his response, that gave him the strength to survive. Now, think about your own life. When faced with pain, disappointment, or betrayal, what is your response? Do you allow the actions of others to define how you feel about yourself? Or do you reclaim your power by choosing a different response, one that is rooted in your inner wisdom, your strength, and your values? The key here is understanding that no one can truly hurt you unless you allow them to. The power to suffer or to rise above suffering is entirely within your hands. By choosing to interpret the events of life with perspective, by choosing to respond with calmness and clarity, you liberate yourself from the control of external circumstances. You free yourself from the grip of pain and suffering. So, the next time you face hardship, remember, it's not the events themselves that cause the pain. It's your interpretation and reaction. You have the power to choose your response, and in that choice, you regain your power over your suffering. True freedom comes when we realize that no one can truly hurt us unless we let them. And with that realization, we gain the strength to move forward, unshaken and unbroken, no matter what life throws our way. 8. Self-restraint in actions. In moments of emotional intensity, the urge to act impulsively can be overwhelming. A sharp word, a quick decision, an instinctive reaction, these can all feel satisfying in the heat of the moment. But more often than not, acting on impulse leads to regret. Our immediate response, driven by emotion, can cloud our judgment, leading us to say or do things we later wish we hadn't. True strength, however, lies in the ability to pause, to take a step back, and to respond thoughtfully. Self-restraint isn't about suppressing our emotions, but about choosing our actions with wisdom and composure. Think about a time when someone cut you off in traffic. Your immediate impulse might have been to honk your horn, shout in frustration, or even tailgate to express your anger. But what would have happened if, instead of reacting, you paused for a moment? What if you took a deep breath, allowed the impulse to pass, and then chose a response rooted in calmness? Maybe you simply let the driver go, knowing that getting worked up wouldn't change anything, and would only leave you feeling more stressed. This simple act of restraint is a powerful demonstration of control over your emotions, and it prevents unnecessary regret. It's easy to act impulsively when emotions are high, but this is where true wisdom comes in. When we allow ourselves to pause, even for just a few seconds, we create space between the trigger and the reaction. This space allows us to gain perspective and to respond, rather than react. It's in this moment of stillness that we can choose how to act, whether it's with patience, kindness, or even silence. And this is where true strength is found. Let's consider a situation in the workplace. Perhaps a colleague disagrees with you in a meeting, challenging your ideas in front of others. Your initial reaction might be defensive, to immediately counter their argument and protect your position. But what would happen if, instead of immediately firing back, you paused and took a moment to collect your thoughts? You might choose to listen more carefully, to ask clarifying questions, or to calmly present your point of view without defensiveness. This thoughtful response not only prevents regret but also demonstrates leadership, maturity, and emotional intelligence. Acting thoughtfully rather than impulsively strengthens your ability to navigate the complexities of life. It shows that you are in control, not of your circumstances, but of your own response to them. This is where true strength lies, not in never feeling the urge to react, but in having the composure to pause and respond with wisdom. The next time you feel the urge to act impulsively, whether in a moment of frustration, excitement, or anger, remember this: a moment of pause can save you from regret, and a thoughtful response will always be a testament to your inner strength. By practicing self-restraint in your actions, you become the master of your own experience, and you demonstrate the true power of composure and wisdom. 9. The power of acceptance. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and circumstances that are beyond our control. We often spend much of our energy wishing things were different, longing for the past, fearing the future, or fighting against the reality that is unfolding before us. Yet, in doing so, we only invite unnecessary distress into our lives. Acceptance is the key to freeing ourselves from this emotional turmoil. When we accept reality as it is, without resistance or denial, we open ourselves to peace, clarity, and practical solutions. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It doesn't mean that we stop striving for improvement or that we let go of our goals. Rather, it means acknowledging the truth of the present moment, without judgment, and recognizing that there are certain things we simply cannot change. Once we accept reality as it is, we can begin to focus on the things we can change: our thoughts, our responses, our actions. And in this shift of focus, we find the peace and strength we need to move forward with clarity and purpose. Let me offer you an example. Imagine you're in a situation where things aren't going according to plan. Perhaps a project at work has failed, or a relationship has ended unexpectedly. Naturally, the first reaction might be frustration, anger, or a sense of defeat. But when we resist the reality of what has happened, we only prolong our suffering. We become consumed by what ifs and if onlys, and we lose sight of the present moment. On the other hand, when we accept the situation for what it is, we stop fighting against the inevitable. We give ourselves the space to process the emotions, to learn from the experience, and to look for ways to move forward. Acceptance doesn't mean that we approve of the situation, it simply means that we recognize the truth of what is, so that we can respond wisely and constructively. Take, for instance, a professional setback. Instead of wallowing in disappointment, or blaming external factors, acceptance allows you to ask, what can I learn from this? What can I change to improve next time? By focusing on what is within your control, how you react, what steps you take to improve, you shift your energy from the past, which you can't change, to the future, which is full of possibility. This same principle applies to personal challenges. Think about a difficult relationship. If we resist the reality that the relationship is struggling, we only create more distress. But when we accept the situation for what it is, we stop fighting against the natural course of things. We acknowledge that we cannot control others, and we focus on what we can change: how we communicate, how we manage our own emotions, and how we navigate the situation with understanding and compassion. Acceptance also brings peace because it frees us from the constant battle with reality. It is only when we stop fighting the present moment that we can truly find peace. We can stop lamenting over things that are beyond our control and focus on what we can influence. And in that focus, we discover the practical solutions and actions that lead to growth, healing, and progress. So, the next time life presents you with an unexpected challenge, remember, acceptance is not about giving up, it's about giving yourself the freedom to act wisely in the face of reality. Accepting what you cannot change brings peace, and focusing on what you can change brings solutions. When we embrace the present as it is, we empower ourselves to create a better future. 10. Living in harmony with nature. True happiness isn't found in the accumulation of wealth, the pursuit of external success, or the approval of others. It is found in aligning ourselves with the natural laws of the world and our own inner essence. We are part of nature, and when we live in harmony with it, when we allow ourselves to flow with the rhythms of the world around us, we experience a deep, lasting fulfillment that transcends material desires and fleeting pleasures. Think about the natural world, the cycles of the seasons, the ebb and flow of tides, the way plants grow and reach for the sun. Nature operates in balance. It doesn't force anything, it simply allows things to unfold as they are meant to. And we, as human beings, are no different. When we align our lives with the natural order, when we embrace simplicity and live consciously, we experience peace and fulfillment. We stop fighting against the current of life and begin to move with it. Living in harmony with nature means recognizing that we are not separate from the world around us. We are part of a larger ecosystem, and every action we take has an impact on ourselves, on others, and on the planet. The more we attune ourselves to this interconnectedness, the more we live in alignment with our true essence. This isn't about chasing after external validation or pursuing the latest trends, it's about reconnecting with the essence of who we are and honoring the natural order of things. Take a moment to consider how nature operates. It doesn't rush, it doesn't force. It grows steadily, quietly, and with purpose. When we adopt this mindset in our own lives, we stop overloading ourselves with unnecessary distractions and expectations. We embrace simplicity, focusing on what truly matters: meaningful relationships, purposeful work, personal growth, and connection to the earth. This simplicity is not about living without comfort, but rather about stripping away the excess that weighs us down. When we live consciously and with intention, we create space for deeper satisfaction and genuine happiness. Moreover, living in harmony with nature fosters invulnerability. Not in the sense of being immune to challenges, but in the sense that we become resilient in the face of adversity. When we are aligned with our inner essence, when we understand our place in the grand scheme of things and accept the natural flow of life, we develop a deep sense of inner peace that shields us from the emotional turbulence that comes from trying to control everything. We become less affected by external judgments, by the pursuit of superficial goals, and by the fear of failure. Instead, we are grounded in the certainty that we are part of something much larger, something far more enduring than the fleeting struggles of daily life. Consider the example of someone living a mindful, intentional life, perhaps someone who chooses to live simply, growing their own food, spending time in nature, and focusing on what truly brings them joy and peace. This person isn't rushing from one thing to the next, constantly striving for more. Instead, they embrace the present moment, enjoy the beauty of nature, and nurture their relationships. Their life is full, not because of external success, but because they are aligned with the natural flow of things, living consciously and purposefully. So, ask yourself, are you living in harmony with nature? Are you attuned to the natural rhythms of life, both in the world around you and within you. When you align with your true essence and the natural laws that govern the universe, you unlock the deep, enduring happiness that comes from simplicity, balance, and conscious living. This harmony brings peace, fulfillment, and a sense of invulnerability that no external challenge can shake. It's a life well lived, one that is in tune with the earth, with others, and with yourself. Now that you've absorbed these Stoic reflections, I challenge you to implement them in your daily life. Remember, true tranquility comes when you focus on what you can control, and by living with purpose, you will find your way through any storm. The next time you face criticism, fear, or obstacles, pause, reflect, and choose your response with intention. It's your reaction that shapes your journey. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What challenges are you facing right now, and how can these Stoic teachings guide you through? Leave a comment below, share your reflections, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more transformative content. Let's continue this journey together, cultivating inner strength and wisdom every single day. Until next time, stay calm, stay focused, and live with purpose.